Welcome back to the 27. Razer Studios dropped their latest development update today, and it could be considered one of the most unique dev updates we would ever see in not only the sim racing community, but any gaming genre really. If you want to get a glimpse into the unique challenges of an independent gaming studio, you'll want to listen to this. We'll also get a glimpse of what we can expect to see going all the way through into 2023 as well, and some other very relevant new stuff. As usual, I'll be reading this verbatim from Renato Simeone himself, so let's get started. Greetings everyone, we are happy to finally be back with our first development update of 2022. Yays! To begin with, I'd like to apologize for not providing these updates in the earlier months of the year for a variety of reasons. These have been challenging times during which I've been personally less involved with the development of AMS2 than usual, and by extension less engaged with the community to provide you with all of the levels of information you have been used to. So let's try to make up for some of that and bring you all up to date with what's going on with Razer and the development of AMS2. Housekeeping. Just a couple of days ago on March 31st, we completed 2 years since the initial early access release of Automobilista 2 on Steam. In this time, we made some big strides with the game, and while we are proud of the pace of development, the number of improvements and new content we've introduced to the sim over this time, we know there's much still to do in order to fulfill its full potential, enough to probably keep us just as busy for another couple of years, and we very much intend to do so. Razer is in a healthy place financially, cha-ching, which has allowed us to expand the team in recent months with further investments on new developers, as well as some new big licenses being negotiated. All in all, the future for AMS2 is bright, and we'll keep on pushing towards it. There have been, however, some challenges in these early months of 2022, with the volatile times we live in causing some ripple effects within the company, some still persisting for a few key devs in the team due to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. One of our lead devs, Ilka, actually had to pack up and move to Brazil from Russia as the sanctions made his permanence there pretty much unsustainable. And another lead, Sandro, who is based in Kiev but has continued to work despite the stresses of being in the middle of a literal war zone. And that's for real, guys. Most admirably, his output has not dropped at all under these very stressful circumstances. In fact, he has modeled the F Ultimate Gen 2 within the time the conflict is taking place. That's amazing. Hats off to Sandro, and the whole team on a daily basis is concerned and looking for updates from him. But this is just an amazing feat. Amazing individual under very difficult circumstances, just plugging away, doing his job. Continuing, the team as a whole has continued to operate as usual despite these challenges, with 2 solid updates already deployed for Automobilista 2 this year, and a third well on its way. But these circumstances, combined with the fact we have been pushing extremely hard in recent years, have led to some reflection as to how we should be conducting AMS2's development moving forward, and especially how we go about deploying updates and sharing our plans with the community, so as to both preserve our team's well-being, as well as avoid frustrating our users with the eventual changes of plans, something pretty inevitable in this activity at the best of times, and even more so in our case, where the freedom to create, change direction, explore new findings, and take the time needed to do things to our liking are key to our continued passion for it. And that's true. In practical terms, not much will change. AMS2 development will not be affected or slowed down in any significant way, and we remain committed to deploying regular game updates, pretty much sustaining the ongoing rate of 1 major update per month for at least the remainder of 22, but this will now be a more flexible target that may and often do take an extra week or 2 to come together, and when they do, the schedule will be adjusted to suit. So if the end of the month has come and gone and an update has not yet been deployed, don't despair. We have also decided against publishing a detailed 2022 development plan, as well as, even though we'd love to give our users a more complete foresight into the future of AMS2, we need to keep things a bit more fluid at the moment and would not want eventual changes in plans to be a source of frustration for you. Partial nuggets of our development plans will of course continue to be part of dev updates such as this one, and they will continue to be posted regularly, if not necessarily every month. It's worth noting that while the info we choose to divulge in the dev updates are usually centered around things we are currently working on, These are not necessarily things that are due to arrive in the next update. So some things may be longer term projects. Some news we may want to share in advance. Some we may just want to hint at so people have an idea where this sim is heading. And some others we may prefer to keep more as a last minute surprise. We have a couple of those for the next update, as you'll see further below. Let's go. Further minor tweaks you may expect to see in our MO moving forward include initial publishing of new updates as a Steam beta branch, not to be confused with AMS2 beta, which is a separate Steam app altogether. From v1.3.5x onwards, we will deploy every update as a beta branch of the main game for a couple of days, allowing the user base at large the chance to chip in with feedback and bug reports during the final touches before the official release, if they are interested in doing so. To access a beta build, right-click Automobilista 2 on your Steam library, go into Properties, Beta tab, select the beta branch from the drop-down menu. This branch will be available for installation from the Install menu. The branch will be disabled after the official public release and return you to the default AMS2 branch. If you then want to opt in for the beta in a next update, you just need to repeat this process. Previous versions will be retained as an option as a beta branch. This should allow users to revert back to a previous version in case they encounter any issues with a new update or want to compare changes if they are interested in doing so. To access a previous version, right-click on Automobilista 2 on your Steam library, go into Properties, Beta tab, and select Previous Build branch from the drop-down menu. To revert to the current build, just repeat the process and select None from the drop-down menu. Please note these two options will only be available upon the release of the new v1.3.5.x update, which should happen soon. When a beta for a new version is available, we will publish the usual release thread with the changelog in our forum with beta marked on the title. And there's a picture of what's coming. Final bit of housekeeping: since we do have an ongoing commitment with people who bought DLC packages, including items to be released in the future, we'll continue to strive to keep you posted as well as we can to what you may expect, when to that end we can confirm the following. Our track team is currently working on Nürburgring 1971, along with the reform of the modern track mesh to add some of the recent modifications and smooth out some excessive bumps in the mesh. These updates will be free to all who already own the Nürburgring pack or any of the packages that include it. The production of the Spa-Francorchamps 1970 has been shifted to the second semester to accommodate further work on the Spa pack and the inclusion of the revamped 2022 layout, with the historic 2020 layout obviously being retained, likewise at no additional cost. The third part of Racing USA will be focused on oval racing. I'm ready to turn left, are you? And is planned for release before the end of July. Its contents will be announced shortly before release. A fourth bonus part of Racing USA is also in the works, and it will be free to all owners of the full Racing USA pack as well as packs that include it. However, its release will most likely take until the first few months of 2023. All other DLC packs in the 2020 to 2022 season pass are still planned to arrive before the end of this year. With all this housekeeping finally out of the way, we'd like to express our sincere gratitude to our users for their patience in recent times. We'll be pushing hard to repay your continued confidence. Now let's move on into the meat of this development update and the stuff you are looking for, and some you probably weren't. The Formula Ultimate Generation 2 arrives. A completely new Aero Package with emphasis on shifting downforce to the under tray in order to minimize issues with dirty airs for the cars that are following, an extra 46 kilograms in minimum weight, bigger wheels with lower profile tires. Some of the main changes in the 2022 regulations have proved to deliver very exciting races so far. We couldn't resist the chance to give it our own interpretation in AMS2, and thus arrives the Formula Ultimate Generation 2. This is Sandro's work, guys. Beautiful. The new Ultimate not only brings our representation of the new rules to AMS2, but have also led to a thorough revision of every component of the car, including more advanced ERS modeling with adjustable options for deployment modes, revised turbo model for the V6 engine along with a complete new sound set, and finally revisions to how drafting affects the following cars. Several of these also apply to the old Formula Ultimate Generation 1 model. Indeed, in the case of the drafting effects, most of the cars in the game. Stock Car Pro Series 2022. 2022 marks the 13th year of our ongoing partnership with the Brazilian Stock Car Series, over which time we have had 11 seasons of the premier Brazilian auto racing series represented in our sims, including historical 1979, 86, and 99 seasons, as well as the recent 19, 20, and 21 seasons, which remain present in AMS2. It's only suitable then that the continued partnership would see the arrival of the 2022 Stock Car Pro Series to AMS2 as another highlight of our upcoming release, complete with a brand new track, the Galeão Airport temporary track, providing the venue for stock cars' return to Rio for the first time in 10 years. Galeão will be available in the sim before the real event itself on April 10th, giving fans and drivers alike the opportunity to sample the track in advance. While the 22 season does not see substantial changes made to the two models that made their debuts in the series in 2020, the physics of these cars have received a thorough revision, with tires especially receiving a major update, and like the Formula Ultimate, with extensive developments to the carcass. Revisions which provide another significant step forward in the physics, and that should extend to other cars in the coming months. Last but not least, the Formula Ultimate Gen 2, the Stock Car Pro Series 22, and Galeão will all be free additions to the base game. And on that bombshell, it's time to wrap up this article and get back to working on the final touches for update release. We hope you enjoy it. So let's take a look at some of these pictures here. There's a Ultimate Gen 2 at some unknown European track. And that's the airport location. Very flat, but very fast, guys. And it's particularly suited for these stock cars. You know, they have that boost mode, and the straights need to be long enough to take advantage of it. Timing of it when it starts is important, and getting in the draft and being able to gain on the cars in front. It's a useful tool, wonderful tool, actually. And there's the morning or the evening at Galeão Airport, at the Galeão Airport temporary track. This is a really nice picture of some stock cars there, and a couple of pictures of the Ultimate Gen 2. This is modeled based off of, amalgamation of some of the design concepts we've seen from the current F1 year, and I think they've nailed it. The side this car looks aggressive, it looks mean, it looks slick, and I hope you enjoy it on track as I will. So that wraps up this development update. And at this point, I'll let you get back to it. Thanks again for watching. Take care.